On April Fool's Day, my husband took me hiking and threw me into a dry well. He said he'd pull me up soon. I believed him, but I waited a long time and he didn't move. I was terrified, begging him to let me out. He laughed, broke my fingers and sealed the well shut. Alara, this is the price for hurting Stella. Repent in there. I howled in the well, trying to climb up, but the walls were too slippery, and tearing off my fingernails was useless. My desperate screams only made things worse. That's too easy on her. Throw some rats and snakes down there. While I suffered inside, he bought Stella 10 islands. 3 days later, he had someone let me out. By then, I was nothing but a skeleton. The king of hell took pity on me, and allowed me to return to the living for 1 day. He went crazy when he found out I was dead. Where's Alara? Doesn't she know I have to chant Buddhist scriptures every Friday? Why isn't she here yet? She'll be sorry if I'm late. Adrian threw his chopsticks on the table in a rage, his face full of impatience. The butler stood beside him, trembling. Miss, Alara hasn't returned since you went hiking. Her colleagues at the company said she hasn't been to work. Adrian realized belatedly. She hurt Stella. I'm just teaching her a lesson. It's only been 3 days. She'll be fine. Sir, I think Miss Alara hasn't been feeling well lately. Why don't you bring her back and punish her in another way? Adrian visibly paused, then quickly regained his composure. Stella hasn't calmed down yet. Alara's so healthy, how could she be sick? Don't say anything more. When the time comes, I'll let her out. The butler hesitated, wanting to say something more, but Adrian waved him away, shaking his head as he left. Stella walked out, leaning against the wall. Adrian hurried to her side asking, Stella, are you still dizzy? Sit down. I've already punished Alara. She won't hurt you again. Stella snuggled against Adrian, subtly stirring the pot. Brother Adrian, Sister Alara didn't mean to. Let her out. It's okay if I'm hurt. She's the most important. Adrian said angrily. Did she tell Stella that you're not important? She must be jealous of you. Stella is the most important person in my heart. Someone, add another stone to the well. I want Alara to completely repent. I specifically chose a mountain with a graveyard. Alara must be terrified of the snakes. The well is too comfortable for her. Let her stay in there for a few more days. Let her eat, drink, and relieve herself all inside. Let's see if she dares to bully you again. Adrian caressed the back of Stella's neck. Stella, I bought you 10 islands. They're all in your name, to make you happy. Stella shyly hid in his arms. Brother Adrian, you're the best to me. I cried out in despair in the well, with no one to hear me. He was spending hundreds of millions on her. The stones blocking the well cut off the air and sunlight, blocking my hope of life. I laughed bitterly to myself. No need to add any more stones. I was already dead. Dead, leaving only a skeleton, floating out a wisp of soul. Looking at my rotting corpse in the well, I realized I had lived half my life, only to die like this. A pain like a knife slicing through my heart made it hard to breathe. Adrian held Stella, sitting on the bed, stroking her long legs, his hand gradually moving upwards. Stella said coyly, Brother Adrian, Sister won't blame me, will she? Only you are the best to me. Adrian was overjoyed by her flattery. I didn't hurt Stella. It was her own carelessness. The door was broken, and she accidentally locked herself in. Stella, afraid of the dark, tremblingly dialed Adrian's number, her voice shaking. Adrian was frightened, frantically breaking down the door and gently holding her in his arms. It's okay, Stella, don't be afraid. I will definitely get justice for you. Stella lay in his arms sobbing. Brother Adrian, don't blame Sister. She didn't mean to. It's my fault for provoking her. A dark cloud passed over Adrian's eyes, blindly believing that I had harmed Stella. Knowing that I liked hiking, he used my favorite thing to hurt me. He planned this for so long, to avenge Stella. I stood there watching them, tears streaming down my face, until finally my tears dried and blood flowed. I tried to control my emotions, but I found that I was powerless to resist them. On the first day I was trapped, I howled and begged him to let me out, but no one paid attention even when my throat was hoarse. In the end, I cried until I had no strength left. In the well, there was only withered grass and dirty water. To survive, I ate grass and drank water to conserve my strength, tearing off my fingernails to barely reach the well opening. Adrian saw that I had come out and added another stone to the well opening. He broke my fingers and pushed me down. I didn't expect you to be so capable, to come out so quickly. I have to show you some more color. I fell to the ground, my waist in terrible pain, unable to move. Adrian grabbed some snakes and rats and threw them down. Afraid you'd be bored, let them keep you company. When you've completely repented, I'll let you out. I looked at the things on the ground in horror, losing my voice. Adrian, I beg you get me out of here. I'll apologize to Stella. It was my fault. Punish me however you want. I want to get out. Please, husband. At that moment, Adrian hesitated, and after a long silence he finally spoke. No, Stella hasn't forgiven you yet. When the time comes, I'll let you out. The well instantly became pitch black. The air in the well became increasingly thin. The snakes and rats in the darkness moved forward, and a sticky sensation crawled up my leg and wrapped around me. I was too scared to move, and pain rushed at me. It hurts. Adrian, it really hurts. No one paid attention to me. There was only endless darkness and the sound of tearing. Adrian really wanted me to die, putting on several 100 pounds of stones, so that I could never get out. The butler looked at the time and said, Sir, don't kill anyone. Let Miss Alara out. She'll be in trouble if she stays in there too long. Adrian waved his hand impatiently. How is that possible? She's a rock climber. She can endure any harsh environment. This little punishment is nothing. It's true that I liked climbing, but he didn't know I was sick. I had a brain tumor, and my hearing, vision, and physical strength were all much worse than before. Adrian, I'm sick. Can you come to the hospital with me? Adrian paused. What's wrong with you? I'm busy right now, I said helplessly. I'm really sick. I have a doctor's note. I wouldn't lie to you. Adrian was silent. Stella's gentle voice came. Sister is so healthy. How could she be sick? She must be jealous that brother Adrian is with me. That's right, you're so healthy, how could you be sick? I'm busy. Don't bother Stella and me. The phone beeped, and my heart was shattered like my body. Adrian and Stella's intimate voices argued in my ears. Sir, Miss Alara is no longer in the well only. Only what? She's so strong, she must have sneaked out. The butler said stubbornly. Sir, you should go see for yourself. I don't know what's going on. His face showed no pity, only disdain. She must have gone somewhere to eat. She can't take it after being hungry for just a few days. I was really hungry, so hungry that I caught a few rats and ate them, blood flowing from the corners of my mouth. Because there was nothing to eat in the well, snakes and rats opened their bloody mouths and ate my flesh. I had no strength to move, so I lay there and let them tear me apart. Adrian said sternly, Where is she? Go find her and make her kowtow to Stella to apologize, until she completely forgives her. The butler wiped away tears. Sir, something must have happened to Miss Alara. Please go see her. Adrian looked indifferent. If you talk nonsense again, I'll fire you. What if something happened? She deserves it. If she dies, scatter her ashes in the well, and let her stay there forever to repent. I listened to his vicious words, my heart aching badly. I wanted to dig out his heart to see what was inside. Our 3 years meant nothing. Loving him was a joke. Alara, I've liked you for a long time. Be with me. I will give you a grand wedding and let the whole world know that the only person I love is you. He would carefully treat my wounds when I was injured climbing. Sometimes he would be frightened by the bloody wounds and secretly shed tears. Alara, don't go rock climbing anymore. I worry about you all day long. I can't imagine what I would do if I lost you. That was the first time I saw him cry, crying like a child. Worried Adrian would be heartbroken again, I gave up my favorite things. I didn't expect so many years without exercise to leave me unable to even call for help. I trusted him completely, and it cost me my life. I thought he would love me forever, that we would be happy forever. But after only 3 years of happiness, he started bringing women home. Perhaps he met his true love, because he only brought Stella. When Adrian wasn't home, Stella was arrogant. I am now the officially recognized mistress of this house. All you maids, stop what you're doing and work for Alara. Isn't she so capable? Without Adrian Gidge's love, she's just trash. I tried to resist, but she slapped me 3 times. I was weak from being sick, and she dragged me to the toilet, holding my head in the bowl, until I almost suffocated. One of the maids couldn't stand it and helped me, but Stella beat her until she vomited blood and threw her out of the villa. When Adrian returned, Stella deliberately put on a bullied expression. Adrian Gidge, I didn't hurt Gigia. That maid just didn't like Gigia, so I helped Gigia get rid of her. Adrian saw my bloody face and a trace of pity flashed in his eyes. Stella did well. Those who don't obey don't deserve to be in our house. From now on, Stella is in charge of everything in the house, big and small. That's what a mistress should be like. Stella smiled triumphantly. Her hand clinging to Adrian's chest gradually moved lower, and he couldn't resist his lust any longer. He picked her up and carried her upstairs. He didn't even look at me. Sir, I've come to resign today. I haven't been able to sleep properly these days. Miss Alara's matter is still unresolved, but I beg you to at least take a look at the abandoned well. Adrian's heart skipped a beat. He had a bad feeling. Get out. All of you get out. Don't bother me. Have you all forgotten who the master of this house is? What kind of voodoo did Alara cast on you? How can everyone be pleading for such a vicious woman? If she didn't die, she ran away. If she died, her body is definitely in the well. What's so hard to figure out? I looked at the white-haired head butler, my heart filled with endless gratitude. Outsiders all know my good side, but you are blinded by others. Adrian suddenly stood up and walked out. I want to see what trick she's trying to play. I followed him. According to my calculations, it was time for me to return to the living. By the time we reached the abandoned well, it was already dark. A flock of crows perched around the well, their calls sounding particularly eerie. Adrian pointed. Look, the rock is still here. How could she have gotten out? The butler adjusted his glasses, puzzled. But the last time I came, it definitely wasn't like this. You must be old and confused. Adrian lifted the rock. A stench wafted out. He plugged his nose, feeling uneasy. I was lying quietly on the ground in the dry well, surrounded by the corpses of rats and snakes, blood everywhere. It was too dark to see clearly inside. Adrian looked at the dark opening and shouted, Alara, admit your mistake. Apologize properly to Stella, and I'll pull you up. I moved my body and weakly said, I was wrong. Let me out. That's right, the king of hell took pity on my pitiful death, and gave me a one-day vacation. I had so many things to do that day. I thought that if Adrian regretted treating me like this, then I would forgive him. He pulled me up. He frowned and said, I knew she wouldn't have died. Hurry up and go back to apologize to Stella. So many days had passed, and he didn't care about my life or death. He only knew to make me apologize to Stella. I limped behind Adrian. He walked briskly. Stella came down from upstairs, wearing a high-end dress and a pearl necklace, looking every bit the wealthy socialite. Sister, why do you look so disheveled? You've turned yourself into this ghostly state in just 3 days. She looked down at my outfit. My white dress was yellowed, and the blood spattered on it had dried, looking shocking. How only 3 days? They had no idea what kind of pain I had gone through. After you apologize to Stella, clean yourself up. Don't let people say that our Chin family is mistreating you. Adrian stopped looking at me and put his arm around Stella to go upstairs. Stella aroused Adrian's desires, and unbearable sounds came from the room upstairs. Although I had returned from the dead, I couldn't help but feel disgusted. My stomach churned. The only thing I couldn't let go of was my mother. Because she didn't agree with my marriage to Adrian, I broke off my mother-daughter relationship with her. I went to my hometown alone, but I couldn't find my mother. I had a bad feeling. I asked around and found out that my mother had already passed away 2 years ago. At that moment, I felt like the sky had fallen. I hadn't been home for 2 years. How could she be gone? I asked around and found out that after I got married, my mother was afraid that I would suffer, so she went to find Adrian without my knowledge. Stella happened to be there that day, and my mother discovered their affair. Heartbroken, she tried to hit Stella, but Adrian pushed her and she hit her head. My mother didn't realize her discomfort until she got home, and by then it was too late. No one claimed the body, and it wasn't discovered until it had decomposed in the house. She was buried in a hurry. I knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times. Mom, your daughter is unfilial. I didn't let you enjoy even one day of happiness. Adrian didn't tell me that my mother had come to see him. It must have been Stella's idea. I didn't need to wait until today was over. He had exhausted my last hope. I recorded what that person said and put the prepared evidence in a USB drive. I looked at the time. I didn't have much time left. I went to find Adrian. He and Stella were tightly entangled in bed, their voices filled with pleasure. Stella cried out joyfully. Adrian Gidge, who do you like more, me or Jejia? Adrian used even more force. Of course it's you, baby. I stood trembling at the door, forcing a bitter smile. The king of hell let me come back this day, and I encountered two painful things. Why do the vicious people get to live well? I set the time to send the video and audio evidence to the police. Stella saw that I wasn't there. Adrian Gidge, where did Jejia go? She wouldn't have left, would she? Adrian paused his movements as he wiped his body, then quickly returned to normal. Wherever she wants to go, let her go. Don't worry about her. She'll be back. Just as they were preparing for their second round, the doorbell rang. Adrian confidently opened the door. It must be Alara. I told you she would come back. He opened the door to see two strangers. Hello, is Alara your wife? Adrian's heart felt like it was about to jump out of his chest. I am. What's the matter? The other person said expressionlessly. We found a skeleton in an abandoned well on the mountain. After DNA comparison, it is Alara. Adrian's throat seemed to be choked by a hand. It took him a long time to find his voice. Impossible. Alara came back with me yesterday. Everyone in the house can testify. The other person looked at Stella behind Adrian and instantly understood, his voice filled with anger. The body in the well was gnawed beyond recognition, but the head was still intact. We are sure it is Alara. If you don't believe us, come with us. Adrian took a step back. Impossible, she really came back with me. Why don't you believe me? I have evidence. Call the butler. We have something to ask him. Sir, the butler resigned and left this morning. The policeman said helplessly. Mr. Adrian, we have said all we can. Believe it or not, the body will be kept at the station for 3 days. If no one claims it, we will cremate it. After the two left, Adrian fell to the ground. It wasn't that he didn't want to go. He was afraid that Alara was really dead. Stella stood stunned behind him. Unexpectedly, Alara was really dead. Now she didn't have to bother solving the problem anymore. Adrian returned to the room and made a call. Hello, help me find someone, my wife. She went missing this morning. No matter what method you use, I have to find her, dead or alive. The other person was silent for a while. No way, Adrian. Did you lose your wife again? It's time to settle down. Don't blame me for not warning you. Wait for my news. After hanging up the phone, the anxiety in his heart calmed down a lot. His brother was a detective. If he didn't know about it, then nothing must have happened. That night he went to the bar and found some girls, but suddenly found it very boring. Even Stella almost fell short. He sat in a corner drinking all night. Hey Alara, don't hide, I know you don't want to see me. It's no use hiding from me, I'll find you sooner or later. Ha! Even now he was still deceiving himself. The people around Adrian thought he was crazy and stayed far away. Sir, we're closed, you should go home. The waiter patted his shoulder, and Adrian grabbed him fiercely. Hey sir, you're hurting me. What closed? My wife hasn't come back, I can't leave. After saying that, he fell asleep on the table. The phone kept ringing. Hello, who is this? A hoarse voice came from the other end. It's me, I have news about Alara, the one you asked me to investigate. Adrian instantly sobered up a lot, waiting for the other person to speak. Alara is at the police station, go find her. A hint of joy flashed in Adrian's eyes. I knew she wasn't dead. What trouble did Alara get into this time? I have to go bail her out. The other end was silent for a long time. Adrian, can you stop deceiving yourself? Adrian put down his phone, confused as to why he said that, and got up to pick up Alara. He forgot he had been drinking and drove unsteadily. He was blinded by the high beams of an oncoming car, and crashed into a tree. Smoke billowed from the hood. Adrian was in a coma for 3 days in the hospital with a severe concussion. He faintly heard someone talking. Stella was on the phone. He doesn't believe Alara is dead. He insists on finding her. I'll talk to him again. Adrian, hearing the woman's voice, suddenly sat up. Alara. Stella's face turned as black as ink, but quickly returned to normal. He saw the person in front of him clearly and rubbed his head. It's you, how am I here? You had a car accident last night. The hospital called me. Called you? Why not call Alara? Is she not reacting knowing I had a car accident? Stella suppressed the jealousy in her heart. What was she competing with a dead person for? She said sweetly. Of course they called me. You forgot. I'm the one you love the most. Where's Alara? Tell her to get over here and cook for me. Stella couldn't hold back any longer and stood up. Have you forgotten that your sister is dead? The police personally came to tell you. Why do you keep refusing to believe it? Seeing Adrian not saying anything, she continued. If you don't believe me, go to the police station and ask. Her body is there. Adrian didn't know how he got to the police station. He was afraid to step inside, afraid that what others said was true. Hello, who are you looking for? Adrian looked up, not knowing what to say. He was silent for a long time before finally speaking. I'm looking for. Do you have anyone here named Alara? The other person checked. Alara? No, who exactly are you looking for? Hearing this, Adrian's eyes lit up. However, we have a deceased person here named Alara. I don't know if it's the one you're looking for. Adrian, who was about to leave, stopped. He trembled uncontrollably, his hands clutching his clothes tightly. She's been here for several days. No one has come to claim her body. We notified her husband, but he never came. Adrian couldn't hear what was being said after that. He felt dizzy. His voice trembled and was hoarse. Where is she? Take me there. Come with me. He stood in front of the sign that read morgue, afraid to take another step. When did she die? November 21st, 11:23 p.m. That was the day. Sir, if you're going inside, be prepared. It's a bit unbearable. Without listening to the person's words, he pushed the door open. What he saw was a bed covered with a white sheet. Adrian reached out his hand, then pulled it back, crouching down in pain. Until he saw Alara's face, he couldn't help it and cried. I'm sorry, Alara. I really didn't know it would lead to your death. I really didn't know. He looked at Alara's body, which had been gnawed on, with no good flesh left, exposing white bones. He slapped himself hard 3 times. Ha, only 3 slaps. How can they compare to my living hell? He planned to pick up Alara, but before he could touch her, he seemed to remember something and muttered to himself. You definitely don't want me to touch you, you hate me, right? How could she not hate him? Tortured to death by the person she loved deeply. If I had known that loving someone would be this painful, I would never have fallen in love with anyone in this life. Adrian walked out like a living corpse. Please cremate her. She definitely doesn't want me to touch her. Please. After saying that, he bowed deeply, tears dripping on the ground. Don't worry, leave it to us. Adrian suddenly turned around. Right, she's afraid of pain. Please be careful. After saying these words, he felt like he deserved to die. Knowing she was afraid of pain, he still locked her in the dry well, letting the animal she feared tear her apart. 3 days later. Hello, Mr. Adrian, miss. Alara's ashes are ready for you to pick up. After receiving the ashes, he didn't know what to do, didn't know what she liked. He thought for a long time, and finally decided to scatter her ashes in the sea, to be free. He had confined her in that dry well for so long. She must have been very scared. Now you can be free. Brother Adrian, you haven't come to see me in a long time. Don't you miss me? Adrian said expressionlessly. I'm not in the mood lately. Stella said sadly. Are you sad about your sister? Didn't you say you didn't love her anymore? But she's my wife, she has no one else but me. Stella said angrily. You only realize now that she has no one else? Don't forget that you're the one who killed her. She shook his sleeve. Brother Adrian, your sister is already dead. Please don't be sad for her, okay? She doesn't want you to be sad. He laughed mockingly. She doesn't want me to be sad? She definitely wants me to die sooner. Okay. Seeing him finally smile, Stella couldn't help but get closer, planning to kiss him. At the last moment, he pushed her away violently. No, another day. I'll come find you. Only then did he get rid of Stella. After the sea burial, he was drunk in a bar and met Alara's former friend Maya. Seeing Adrian, she hit him hard with her bag. Adrian, you deserve to die. Alara died because of you. How do you know? I didn't tell anyone. Maya laughed sarcastically. Do you know? Alara called me before she died. I knew she was sad, upset, but I didn't expect she was dying. She wiped her tears. She didn't want me to be sad, but she still told me. Do you know how desperate she was? I thought you were just verbally hurting her. Who knew you wanted her dead? She became hysterical at the end, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. If I hadn't been abroad at the time, she definitely wouldn't have died. Saying that, Maya took out a phone from her bag and threw it at Adrian. This is Alara's phone. Everything she said before she left is inside. I've already listened to it. You're a real bastard. Meeting you was the biggest misfortune in Alara's life. You don't need to give me the phone. I don't want to hear such painful words a second time. Keep it for your repentance. After Maya left, Adrian completely collapsed. He looked at the phone in his hand, not having the courage to open it. The phone's lock screen was a landscape photo, changed sometime, before it was Adrian's photo, taken secretly by her. She must have been disappointed to the point of despair. He opened the recording software and couldn't hold back anymore when he heard Alara's voice, crying like a child, heart-wrenchingly. Alara's weak and powerless voice. This is the 4th year I've loved him. Unbelievable, right? Even though he hurt me, I still love him, but I love the him from before. I hate the him now. Sometimes I think I'm pretty cheap. I don't expect him to come and save me anymore, because he's the one who pushed me into the abyss. Maybe I've been disappointed for too long. I'm a little desperate now. But, do you know, Adrian, it hurts so much, so much. No one is coming to save me. I hate rats and snakes, but to survive, I ate the things I was most afraid of. But now, I don't want to live anymore. Because it's too painful. You shouldn't have touched my mother. She's the most important person in my life. I hope I don't meet you in the next life. I want to be a free seabird. Finally, I wish you and Stella will be locked together forever. Don't go and harm other people. At the end, Alara's voice was so small that it was almost inaudible, but Adrian heard it very clearly. She was blessing him. Ah, I'm such a bastard. Alara, I'm sorry, please come back. Will I atone for you, okay? Adrian's grief-stricken voice filled the entire room, his heart aching terribly, needing something to fill it. He looked at the small knife on the table and slashed his arm hard. At that moment he admitted his heart was filled. Were you in hundreds of times more pain than this at the time? Forgive me for not being able to atone for you yet. He knew it was useless no matter what he did. The next day, Adrian drove to the Public Security Bureau. While sorting through the files, he found a medical record. His hands trembling, he opened it. Late-stage brain tumor. So what she said was true, she hadn't lied to him. Alara didn't have much time left, and he had tormented her. She was an expert climber. How could she be trapped by a mere dry well? But she hadn't come up for so long. Why hadn't he thought of that sooner? Hello, are you Mr. Adrian? Ms. Alara's husband? Yes, I am. You are. I'm her attending physician. She always came for treatment alone. She only said her husband was very busy, but loved her very much. Miss Alara asked me to give you a diary. Adrian didn't have the courage to open it. He went to find Stella. Stella's expression was somewhat unnatural when she saw Adrian arrive. Adrian, what brings you here? He glanced into the house. Won't you let me in? Or are you hiding someone? How could that be? I only love you. Adrian saw the man inside, but he didn't want to bother with it now. He probably already knew about Stella. I've come to ask you something. Did you know about Alara's illness? Stella's eyes darted around. I don't know, how would I know? Second question. How did you get trapped in the house? Adrian, why are you suddenly asking this? Don't you already know? My sister framed me. Stella looked at Adrian's dark face and had a bad feeling. She pressed her impressive chest against Adrian's body, wanting to ignite a fire, but Adrian dodged her. I have things to do. You're busy. I'll see you next time. Seeing that Adrian didn't suspect anything, Stella smiled. Okay. Adrian returned home, took out the diary from his pocket, and after a long silence, Opened the first page. First day diagnosed. I didn't expect to live much longer, but I haven't done the 100 little things couples do with Adrian yet. But he doesn't believe I'm sick. I don't know when it started, but we've changed. He must be in love with another woman. I saw him and Stella doing that kind of thing together. It's disgusting. My head hurts badly, but Stella bullies me, wants to be the mistress of this house. I didn't expect Adrian to allow it. I have a feeling I won't live much longer. Actually, the brain tumor is nothing to me. What's fatal is what Adrian does to me. I don't like Stella, she's very vicious, but Adrian says she's very kind. He noticed that the number of words decreased each time, and the handwriting became uglier and uglier. She probably couldn't control the pen anymore. The diary was soaked with tears, and the words written in ink blurred. He wiped it, and the words disappeared. So this is what losing someone feels like. Adrian picked up the knife beside him and forcefully slashed several times on the unhealed wound. The flesh rolled. Bright red blood dripped onto the carpet and congealed. He felt no pain, but his heart hurt terribly, so much that he wanted to slash his heart a few times. After Adrian woke up, he went to the cemetery to see Alara's mother. Actually, he only found out later that Stella had caused his mother-in-law's accident. He was afraid Alara couldn't take it, so he didn't tell her. He was also responsible. Auntie, you definitely don't want to hear me call you Mom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you, sorry to Alara. Wait for me, I'll go atone for my sins. Forgive me for not burying Alara with you, because I harmed her. In life she was trapped in a narrow dry well. She must have been very scared. So I took the liberty of having her buried at sea. She likes freedom. You were right to dislike me. I'm sorry, this is the last time I'll come. Adrian sniffled and wiped the dust off the photo. Actually, he had been secretly coming these past few years. The tombstone was very clean. It was obvious that it was cleaned regularly. He went to the dry well on the mountain again. Only when he reached the bottom of the well did he feel what despair was. The bottomless dry well looked very shallow, but in reality, it was very dark inside. Alara died here in the end. Her soul must be here. Adrian sat down, looking at the bloody handprints on the surrounding walls. The scene of Alara struggling to climb up, finally reaching the top, only to have her fingers broken by him and pushed into the abyss. The stones blocking the well opening cut off the air and sunlight, blocking her hope of life. Alara, I know it's too late to say anything. I let you down. You must never forgive me. Let's not meet again in the next life. You've suffered too much. Adrian pressed against the handprints on the wall. As if he was hugging Alara, the smell of blood was pungent. He stayed in the well all night, and strange noises came from the gloomy mountain from time to time. He didn't dare to think about how Alara got through it. She was so afraid of rats and snakes, and he personally sent her to hell. Looking at his trembling hands, Adrian didn't have the courage to climb up. It would be good to die here. He could be with Alara. After he went up, he went to find Stella. Stella swayed her slender waist and walked over. Adrian, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you for so long. Adrian smiled, pulled open the car door. Get in, I'll take you somewhere. Stella happily got into the car, wondering what the surprise was. Who knew that the car route was becoming more and more remote? She had a bad feeling in her heart. Adrian, where are we going? This route is wrong. Adrian didn't say a word, and stepped on the accelerator. The car finally stopped in front of the dry well. He dragged Stella out of the car, and threw her to the ground. Stella looked at the dry well in front of her and shrank back in fright. Adrian, what are you doing? I'm scared, don't treat me like this. Adrian chuckled, squatted down. Scared? Do you know how scared Alara was? It was all your bad ideas that killed her. Stella didn't expect him to say that. She raised her head to meet his eyes. Blame me? Don't forget. You were the one who brought her here, and you were the one who ordered the well to be sealed. You killed her. Why are you blaming me? If you hadn't lost control of yourself, how could she have died so miserably? You could say she deserved it. Stella ignored the mess on her body and stood up. Do you know? When she was most desperate, you pushed her into the abyss. Adrian couldn't stand steady and slapped Stella with a trembling hand. You hit me? Just for that damn woman? Why won't she let me be at peace even after she's dead? You're the culprit. Stella shouted hysterically. You're really a devil. She wanted to leave, but Adrian grabbed her and dragged her into the car. Let me go. Where are you taking me? Adrian was unusually calm, casually lighting a cigarette. We should atone for our sins. What are you talking about? Why should I atone for my sins? Let me out. The car door was locked. Stella was completely frightened. Adrian, don't go crazy. If you want to die, go die yourself. She pounded on the car window, utterly desperate. Adrian stepped on the accelerator and drove up the mountain. The car's speed increased, the windows were open, and the strong wind on the mountain was very uncomfortable. Help, is anyone there? Stella finally experienced the feeling of despair. She felt death was beckoning to her. At the last moment, Adrian stopped. Stella, I've changed my mind. Let's be together, forever together. Stella calmed down, smiled, and the heart that was hanging finally let go. Really? You figured it out. We'll be together forever. Adrian started the car again. Stella thought he was going to turn around, but he stepped on the accelerator. The car fell off the cliff. He looked at Stella. That way we can be together forever, can't we? Stella was completely desperate, her voice trembling. You're really a madman. Adrian looked at the sky, smiling easily. Alara, what you said. I promised you. I'll be locked together with Stella for life. Now you don't have to worry about us harming others. Stella looked at Adrian in disbelief, tears streaming down her face. Adrian still loved Alara, out of guilt? The car finally exploded at the bottom of the cliff. It seemed that no bones were left. A heavy rain fell a day later, washing away all traces on the mountain. It was reported that 2 people committed suicide because the explosion was too severe, and the bodies of the 2 were not found. There was no Alara in the world anymore. Alara didn't want to be a human in her next life.